We've reached the end of the road. That's right. One last preseason game about 24 hours from now. Actually, over 24 hours from now. We're going to be watching probably a heavy dose of Clayton Tune. Is it the last we'll see of the Tune squad in the Cardinals uniform, plus many other players playing for their Cardinals jobs, Johnny Venerable?
Hallelujah. The preseason mercifully coming to an end tomorrow, and we're going to be gross and preview the game. Plus, do the Cardinals, like some of these other teams, find a market for some of their fringe rosters in the form of a trade? Do they make a trade themselves? We'll tell you. PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Kindly like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. Brack in Studio K. Noah Man behind the mic. We're a couple nasty boys here on a Friday.
That's right. We're never afraid to play our starters, no matter how meaningless the game. Of course, we're brought to you by our friends over at Bet365, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the code PHNX365. Dare I suggest hammering the Raiders tomorrow?
Yes.
Just whatever the spread is.
Yes.
Take the silver and black tomorrow.
Listen, we'll be fanboys on that. We've been labeled fanboys. It wasn't the first time, won't be the last time. This is one of those times where you can look Uncle Johnny and Uncle Bo dead in the eye and say, you have no business betting the Cardinal money line tomorrow. Do yourself a favor, open up the checkbook, put a sizable amount on old Pete Carroll's squad. Do what's necessary. Like and subscribe.
Oh, man. Look, I mean, we're just straight shooting you on Friday, but we got a lot of positive things to talk about.
Do we?
Yeah, about this team that we do fanboy over Monday through Friday and Saturdays and Sundays sometimes. Tomorrow, Saturday for sure. And we can't wait to get to it. Obviously, we're going to give an update as far as who's playing tomorrow, who's not. We heard from the Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon yesterday, practice yesterday, what came out of there, and then just kind of who's playing for their jobs. Because basically what Gannon said is the guys playing on Saturday are fighting for roster spots. So who are going to be those guys that can make or break their preseason, their training camp, and be a part of the initial 53 and move into the regular season with this team?
We mentioned this if you checked out our video on demand yesterday. Appreciate you. Thursdays are our off days during the regular season. But I gave my co-host credit because of the nightmare show that was our post game last week. I was very much of the mindset. I didn't know what the Cardinals were going to do, but I was pretty adamant they needed to respond in the form of like a competent outing with some quality players in the preseason finale, because I don't know, these games, cost ticket to go. You have to pay. This isn't free. This isn't the red and white scrimmage. Like, people are going to pay to go and park and get concessions. And that was not like real football last week offensively. And I'll give Brack credit. As much as you disagree, I think, with the decision of what they're doing, how they're handling it this preseason, you were of the mindset that they weren't going to do anything different.
Yeah.
And if anything, they might double down even harder with the Tune squad. Like, we don't even know if Jacoby Brissett's going to play in this game.
Right.
It could be the Tune squad from the time we go to kickoff, mercifully, to the end of the fourth quarter. And I'm anxious to see the fan reaction to that, because fair or not, preseason or not, like, other teams are treating these more seriously than the Cardinals. And I think that that's what at least rubs me the wrong way.
Right. Yeah. And I'm looking at Game Time right now, and you can get in the door for $20 to watch professional football be played.
I'm telling everybody, hold out, wait.
Yeah, I do think, absolutely hold out. I mean, I'm seeing somebody selling some tickets for $134. Like, sir, drop the price. drop the price and just let people go take the loss. And just realize, hey, you're going to be gifted once the NFL moves to 18 regular season games and then cuts this preseason game. You're not going to have to worry about selling your season, your tickets you're trying to make money off of anyway. Shame on you anyway. But it's Mr. Fat Gangster saying 600-yard punting day for Blake Gillikin incoming. It's unfortunate. Like, do I want to watch better football? Do I want to see guys that can play the game at a high level? Absolutely. Do I understand what they're trying to accomplish by just playing the guys that they're trying to figure out who should be on the roster and who shouldn't, where if you already have a place on this roster, it doesn't make sense for you to suit up and play. I get it. But it is like the pageantry, the idea that you have to go and sit through traffic and get into this park, pay for parking and get in the stadium, pay for concessions and have a ticket to the game. Like, it's unfortunate that like this is what you're subjected to. This is the product. But at the end of the day, the main focus is the 2025 regular season. That's what's the main focus in doing everything within their power. Jonathan Gannon, his coaching staff, his front office, his players, they want to give themselves the best shot to win. And they feel like they've checked the boxes as far as the kind of little benchmarks throughout this preseason training camp of what they've needed to see from not just their offense, which is the big topic all the time, their defense and special teams.
I guess. I mean, a week ago today, we were traveling back.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I believe you that's what they think. I don't contend that it's the right decision. Like, I don't think this team, especially, and I'm coming from a point of like offense, and not to give the defense a pass, but I'm going to give them a pass because it was the best coach unit on the team last year outside of special teams. I don't think the offense is in a position where it's just like time to just cruise into New Orleans, time to cruise into the Superdome. We're going to be set. That fan base is rabid. They're going to have juice because it's the opener. You would much rather play New Orleans, I think, at the end of the year when they're a dead carcass than week one. And so, like, the Cardinals can't have any lapses offensively. And this offseason, I mean, like, if last year was basically sitting out, any competent, opposing football, like competition-wise, outside of one joint practice with Indy, this was a slight step above. Like, I think, it's all about expectations. I was under the expectation, maybe fair or not. Remember that clip from JG? And it was like, we've decided this is the best course for us. We're going to play starters this weekend. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Like, this is going to be different. This offseason is going to be different. How they tackle the preseason. And it, outside of 2 possessions for Kyler Murray, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, how much did they find out about this offense from 2 possessions, a field goal, and an interception? I found out some stuff. Like, they need to play a little more. They need to have more snaps. Like, if they had gone seamlessly down the field and punched it in against the world champion or the AFC champion, whatever you want to call them, and they're like, see, we're good, I would have been like, no problem. But they weren't good. They threw an interception in the red zone. Yeah. They stalled out in the red zone again. To me, I think they've missed the mark again this preseason, back-to-back years.
It's like having a significant other or a child or a friend, and you beg and you plead, and it's like, please change your ways. Like, this is a big sticking point in our relationship. And then they do it once, and then they get back to their old ways. Like, see, I cleaned up after myself once. I ate my meal. I scrubbed it off the dish and I put it in the dishwasher. And then it was like a Monday. And then the rest of the week, it was just dirty dishes piled in the sink the rest of the way. Like, you might have done it. It was a one-off. And
remember that one time I did it, though? That was pretty great.
Yeah, wasn't it great? Wasn't it great when we saw, Kyler Murray go in the first team offense, go out there and play? Yeah, look, I mean, I know it takes, like, you're finding reasons to watch preseason games and say, hey, there's a good reason I'm tuning in. And like, there's not a whole lot with this one. There's just not. Like, you can't dress it up. I mean, you can say, hey, there's the position battles, there's the roster spots on the line, but like, do you even have like a true belief? Like, if they know feel like this confident as far as their starting guys and that there's going to be something that somebody can put on tape Saturday that's going to sway their decision come, submitting the final roster on Tuesday afternoon?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I'm sorry. Like I don't. I think we're also having two conversations. The first conversation is that the first team offense did not do enough, in my opinion, to make you feel good about going to the opener publicly.
Right.
Number two, the second conversation is don't subject your fan base to Clayton Tune for 4 quarters. Those are two separate conversations. Now, if you take care of one, then you take care of both, which is coincidental. If Kyler Murray plays, it's a trickle-down effect, then Jacoby gets some snaps, and then you play Tune in the second half. You're opting to do the exact opposite. So it's not, again, we would be moaning and bitching about this, even if like the Clayton Tune experience, if it was happening and Kyler Murray was fantastic and they made the playoffs last year, like we would be bummed about tomorrow night. But you would understand it. It's like, well, last year took care of business. They were great. They didn't go 2-5 down the stretch. They didn't just score 18 points per game against winning teams. They were unbelievable in the stretch run. So they need extra time. We'll give them due process. They sat guys last year. No big deal. Nope. They've started 1-3 each of the last 2 years. Pretty sure in Cliff Kingsbury that final year they were like 2-5 or something. So they haven't started fast since 2021. Mm-hmm. So again, the common denominator is not they didn't play in the preseason. But it's part of it. Why does Andy Reid do it? Why are these teams that are consistently vying for division titles? Yes, the players are better, but have the Cardinals looked sharp enough to roll into the regular season and start kicking ass and taking names? I push back on that narrative. I think they've been mostly fine. I'm in a conditioned state right now where I think they've been fine. They'll beat New Orleans. Probably they better because they just simply have better coaching and better players. But like, do I see a run like 2021 when that team was white hot to open the season and that passing game was unbelievable? 5 Kyler Murray passes, touchdown passes. Chandler Jones was all over. Taylor Lewan. Yeah, like, do I see that coming? I don't. I haven't seen enough from this team yet.
Well, in New Orleans, I think it's possible. And if their track record last year was that they could handle bad teams, like the only bad team they stumbled against was Carolina.
Sure.
And outside of that, they were 5-1 in 6 games against sub 500 teams. They have a decent record for them. Well, let me ask you this then: like, we've got this revamped defense.
Mm-hmm.
If this offense came out and was dealing, consistently against this defense, wouldn't you then in turn be concerned about, well, all the moves they made on defense are not showing up to start camp? Like what? Like this perfect world that we're all longing for, it's kind of far-fetched. Like what we saw is an extension, sure, of last year, which you wanted. Like there was some good things. Let's not just like throw away the offensive performance last year because there were some positives. We just wanted to see more Marv and more of a downfield passing attack. And like, you're not going to like put those in the playbook and then immediately like just go dial them up against Andy Reid and the Chiefs in preseason week 1. That would seem like you're going to put that on tape. Like, I think it's unrealistic to think like, hey, here's our brand new offense. See everything you want. And then also like, this is how we're going to really kind of operate. What we did see though was Marvin Harrison Jr. get a larger target share, get more within the rhythm. We saw him obviously his offseason, bulking and how he's just continue to put in the work and that he's ready to take a jump. But I don't know if we were ever truly going to see like what we wanted to from this offense. One, because you're going up against most of the time your first team defense. And then, outside of that, your joint practice, you're going up against what's supposed to be one of the best defenses in the league in Denver.
So we're going all in on they've just only played elite defenses because that Cardinals defense last week against Denver got destroyed for 4 quarters. I don't like
that's not what I'm saying, but I just think that you have to really kind of temper your expectations, especially in the preseason and training camp. Like you want him to go out there and just Kyler Murray just cut up your defense and then go in there and you want to see him like like show off the entire playbook in the preseason games, like just so you can feel confident going to sleep at night?
I have not seen a red zone touchdown in over 2 weeks from the first team offense.
I can tell you, I've seen the red zone recently, and what I can and can't say, like, it looks good.
Okay,
it looked good.
It didn't look good against the Chiefs or the Broncos, but I believe you. It looked bad.
Well, we didn't even get to see it against the Chiefs. I mean, the Broncos, the one possession in the red zone, it was a touchdown. Jacoby Brissett to Semi Fioco.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking about joint practice where I watched the first team offense. Yeah. They went over in the red zone, but it's the Broncos' #1 defense. And then the first team offense against the Chiefs in 2 possessions had a negative turnover differential and kicked a field goal. I've seen enough field goals.
Yeah. What they should have gone after. They should have gone for it. I don't know why they didn't on that.
That's what I'm saying. They're just, I get it. Difference in the regular season and the preseason. They must have all the confidence in the world. They better, because this unit let them down last year. Mm-hmm. I know that the defense has been the best coached unit for 2 years on this team, and it has been a talent-starved unit probably for half a decade, more so, maybe longer than that. Mm-hmm. And everybody anoints Nick Rallis, rightfully so, as a future head coach, and he's got, Gannon called him a genius. What was that, yesterday? I mean, just
we have that clip. Yeah, we can play that later. But
we'll get to that. But it's just like nobody that I've spoken to, nationally, locally, whomever, is worried about if the Cardinals defense is going to carry its end of the bargain this year. It's about this offense taking the next step. Can they beat good teams? And not only can they beat them, can the offense be the culprit for why they won? And here's, again, the question is, because I don't, in hindsight, think target share wise, Michael Wilson and Zay Jones, I just don't think there's going to be enough available for them. I think it's going to be a week-to-week thing. So we are basically banking on the increase in production from Marv is going to be the difference for this offense. And to a lesser extent, Trey McBride scoring touchdowns. Those 2 things. Can Marv go from about 900 yards to 1,300? And can Trey McBride, instead of having 1 or 2 touchdowns, have 10? That will be the difference in the season. Because anybody that's waiting for a completely different offense, I push back on the notion that they're holding things back.
Isn't that kind of a completely different, like that's what people were dropping to their knees in praying for last year.
But the last time I saw this team offensively, both against the Chiefs and the Broncos, they couldn't hit Trey McBride or Marv in the red zone. And that's what plagued them last year. So again, could they just cut up New Orleans? And could they destroy Carolina and go beat what I think is a bad Niner team? Absolutely. But I told Espo this on Southwest Bias earlier today. Their style points for me will matter because it will prove to me that they can do it. You mentioned beating bad teams. I mean, look at what they did against the Jets and the Bears. It wasn't some prolific passing attack.
Yes, it was.
The Chicago, how many touchdowns?
Kyler Murray went like 21 for 23 that game.
What were the statistics that he had?
Unbelievable.
Did he throw for over 300 yards that game?
The Bears game, you can make that point. The game against the Jets was unbelievable. Game against the Jets was one of the best performances he's had.
And they pulled starters.
Oh, even the bird behind you is sick of what you just said. It nearly just fell down.
The Jets game, Kyler Murray threw for 266.
Oh,
he just fell down to the ground. Kyler Murray against the Jets, 266 and a passing touchdown. See, you've conditioned yourself to think like, well, it was a blowout. So nope. And then when you needed to have big passing game performances against the likes of the Vikings and the Rams and the Seahawks, they couldn't do it. It wasn't there.
I understand that part for sure.
So that's all I'm saying. I know they can beat the Saints and win ugly or win with James Conner going for $150 and Kyler Murray can be efficient and complete 80% of his passes. What is it going to take for this team to take the next step? They have to, their passing game has to be infinitely better than last year. Yeah. And I just don't know if I've seen enough yet. My poor bird was so distasted with the take of the Jets game. He had to run away.
He didn't run away. I think he just,
Hang
just
on.
jump straight off the wall.
Come on, bird.
Maybe a little bit stronger than some Scotch tape. We'll keep that guy up there.
That's packing tape. I want a passing game. Throw the football downfield. Let's go.
31-6, they won that game. I mean,
one passing
Tyler, 22 for 24, 266, threw the ball at over 11 yards per clip, but just one passing touchdown. If he has those performances, if he's that efficient and he's throwing for over 250 yards, I'm not going to complain about it. But look,
they're not playing the Jets every week.
He's going to have to. They're playing a bad team to start. They're playing a bad team week 2 and potentially a bad team in week 3, as people are starting to realize once the season gets closer that the Niners are not in a good spot. We've got an update as far as how the Cardinals head coach feels about the main connection between Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. We'll get into that. You'll hear from JG next, plus more on this preseason finale here on PHNX Cardinals.
I'm so upset about this passing game and my bird falling. The only thing that'll make me feel better is a nice pair of slacks from our friends at Mack Weldon. In all seriousness, I'm constantly looking for gear to wear that's not PHNX sports related. And I've worn these to death and I love them, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you're looking for a casual approach, if you're looking for something that's comfortable and can fit your lifestyle, our friends at Mack Weldon, they'll take care of you. Their new tech linen combines the charm of classic linen with Cool Max technology. Explore shirts, hoodies, shorts, sweatshirts, and more. MackWellman.com. You're going to get 25% off your first order, 25% off with the bonus code PHNX. If you're ever just like, we're going to just find like normal clothes to wear. I need normal clothes to wear to the grocery store or to the dentist's office or to a sporting event or to my kid's school. Mack Weldon's got you covered. Doesn't have a bunch of gaudy graphics on it. It's not ridiculously overpriced. It's just normal, easy, breezy, breathable clothes that you can feel comfortable in all summer long. Go to MackWeldon.com and get 25% off your first order of $25 or more. Again, $25 off, up to $125. MackWeldon.com, bonus code PHNX. I can't wait to wear my Mack Weldon gear throughout the rest of this fall, Bo.
Yeah, it's going to look great. Love the Mack Weldon gear that I got recently purchased. Rally House also is going to set off your fit, your game day fit for sure. The go-to spot. Shop all your favorite local Arizona team gear with tens of thousands of products to shop from. Tens of thousands? Really? Yeah, that many. They are not short on Cardinals gear, Suns gear, Diamondbacks gear, Sun Devils gear, Wildcats gear. Find and shop the locations in Tempe, Mesa, and Glendale. Checked out Rally House for all your game day needs. They have them all. Jerseys, best selection in drinkware, signage, coolers, socks, even sunscreen. Johnny's going to replace the bird that fell down last segment. Check them out right now. Find your local Rally House today. Shop their entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com. That's rallyhouse.com. And every time you visit Rally House, you're guaranteed to find something new, unique, and matches your game day vibe. Check them out right now, either the QR code on the screen or rallyhouse.com.
I love this right here. G. Wilkers, Johnny all decked out in snazzy slacks and a muscle shirt, sitting in and watch preseason football. That sounds like my Saturday night, G. Wilker. Can't believe it. You got a hidden camera in my house? Good Lord. We appreciate everybody. Hammer that like button. We know times are tough. We're slumming it right now. I told Bo, it feels like we're back in the off season because I just don't have any juice right now. And I'm a little lukewarm of what I've seen. And the team let me down in this preseason. And the Niners are getting Brian Robinson. They're trading for Brian Robinson. Like, I want some juice.
It's like Brian Robinson got beat out by some guy named Bill Krosky. And you're like, oh man.
No, I don't want Brian Robinson, but they got some juice, man. The Niners, they got some really good players.
Brian Robinson has no juice. Zero juice.
Robbie Anderson, Brian Robinson
stole all his juice.
Pretty crazy. They got Brian Robinson and Ricky Pearsall, both incidents of horrific shooting tragedies, and they're both on the same team right now. Niners are in shambles, though. We laugh at them. Hammer that like button. The goal, if we can make it, inching toward 500 likes here on a Dirtbag Vegas preview show.
I just felt like I listened to my my 4-year-old. You were just whining. You just whined for like 30 seconds to 45 seconds straight. Just like, they're playing nobody in the preseason. I got no juice. The Niners are getting this guy. It's just like, come on, man. Like, I don't want to hear hear Johnny whine for 45 minutes. Just play somebody.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Show is.
Speaking of long-winded responses, Josh Weinfuss asked JG if the hay was in the barn as far as the preseason and the connection between Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. And JG came up with this near 2-minute response. Lock in and listen to the head coach.
I played and coached for two guys from the same tree, and one guy who was older would say, after today, the hay's in the barn. And the guy that was under him, when I played and coached for him, he says, I don't like that expression because the hay's never in the barn until you kick it off. I flavor that more mindset because you have 48-hour prep, you have 24-hour prep, you have a walkthrough, you have a bunch of different meetings, you have psychological prep, I think, that you have to go through as it gets, what you're doing 2 days before the game, 7 days before the game, the week before the game, 2 days before the game, 1 day before the game, 20 minutes before the game. So I don't think the hay's ever in the barn until they flip the coin. Then the hay's in the barn. So your question, getting back to that, these reps matter. These reps matter, and I think it's going to, just like our entire team, the first part of the year, you're going to have to learn and grow from those games, from those game reps when it really counts, truthfully. I know we've talked about that a lot. The proof will be in the pudding, and it's our job to make sure that it looks right and it's better than last year, as coaches and then as players, but because we need that piece to be clicking to play well on offense. I do believe that when we need it to. Now, when they put two guys on Marv, the ball ain't going to go to Marv, you know what I mean? But other guys got to step up. However, when we need plays from those guys, we got to have plays from them.
That was more interesting than anything I've seen this preseason. That response from Jonathan Gannon. That was good stuff. Story time with JG. I'm into it.
But the end of that, probably the last 30 seconds, where there is the self-awareness of the state of their organization and going into this pivotal season and understanding that the connection between Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray needs to be better and is essential for their success, and being able to rely on them in the crucial moments. That to me is important. That they're not just going, hey, statistically, offensively, we weren't that bad, and we're just going to kind of roll some sort of form of the status quo going forward. They know that they have to elevate that little part of their offense. They have to elevate the passing attack with Marv and then all the parts surrounding him when Marv is doubled.
Yeah, I think you could even go as far as to say, like, this team will fail in terms of the expectations if they don't. They won't succeed. There's not another avenue with respect to Michael Wilson and Zay Jones that they can take. They didn't invest in that position this offseason. They've doubled down on Marv. They should. You have no business taking a player 4th overall if you're not going to target him consistently. And if he's got the physical traits, and that's never been a question. They misused him last year. He hit a rookie wall. I don't think they did a great job offensively supporting him. And so now, you have to take your medicine. And if we're sitting here and it's week 10 and this team is underperforming offensively and Marvin Harrison Jr. is not having the kind of year that he needs to have, then it's a failure on everybody. They're as good as Trey McBride is. You cannot, in my opinion, just have one passing target that can get you to the postseason.
No doubt.
It has to be a layered approach. You can't have just a run game, right? Like, look at the postseason teams from last year. And it's like, unless you have, like, the Rams are a complete outlier, and that's why the Cardinals blew it last year, but they still had Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Like, historically, Ayuk, Debo, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Dallas has had prolific passing games with Dak. Philadelphia, of course, Washington with Terry last year. This is what's missing from this team. And it's what's frustrating for me, and probably a big segment of the fan base, Bo, is like, this should be the easiest flipping layup. We're not trying to force, an undrafted free agent into the X receiver and make it work. And I think that's why, you lose patience with a lot of us when it's just like, Stop making it look hard. It's not supposed to look hard. He's a generational prospect. You took him over Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. Figure it out. Because if you don't, then it will have a trickle-down effect like it did last year, and the team will struggle as a result.
And I don't disagree with anything that you said, but at the same time, I understand that Larry Fitzgerald entered this league and had similar numbers to Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. had similar numbers to his Hall of Fame pass-catching father, Marvin Harrison Sr., in their first season. And you saw some positives, especially, in close, 8 touchdowns to tie the rookie record. And you know that the ceiling is higher there. And you come and you have this starting off point. Sure, it's not spectacular. He's not being spammed the football like Brock Bowers and Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors. They're trying to have more of a complete offense because they had higher expectations for their team and also understood that they had to maybe be closer in the time of possession. They couldn't just go out there and force 2 to 3 balls on Marv each and every drive and then put your, undermanned defense out there. Like, I think my point here is, as far as the Cardinals go, they're willing to be patient with Marvin Harrison Jr. because there's a belief that he's going to be a guy that's going to make plays as early as this season. And people are hanging on to what they didn't see in 2024.
Right.
It's really kind of unfortunate because you have like in this game, you see guys take off like rockets. And if anybody is set up for that type of success, it's Marvin Harrison Jr. But the skepticism is in the play caller, and there's a skepticism, I think, as far as Kyler Murray getting him the football, as far as the fan base goes. And people think that can kind of hinder him. But I think you have to let this play out and see what it looks like in at least the first game before you start to jump to any conclusions. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray played 2 series. He had 1 catch for 15 yards. The pick, that was on Kyler. Marv had nothing to do with that play, even though he was the targeted receiver in that play.
Listen, you want some positivity? Marv has been outstanding this training camp. It's been everything you needed to see. So I think it's where my frustration lies even more so is like the rest of the passing game, you're still kind of waiting for it to ramp up. And it's like, well, I don't want it to come at the expense of Marv again. Because again, I'm very much of the mindset. It all depends on where you land situationally in the NFL, where certain guys succeed early on. Some guys have to play it out. Marv, with a better offensive coordinator and a better structured scheme, emphasizing his talents, is easily a 1,000-yard receiver last year, maybe more, because his confidence would have grown. So for an offense that has 2 100-yard wide receiver games and 34 outings, both came from Marv last year, to just turn around. I'm not going to have blind faith that it's going to be completely polished and ready to go. I do have faith that Marv has done everything he needed to do to take it to that next level. Now it's on the play caller and the quarterback to be able to make sure that he is prioritized. And again, there are going to be Sundays where you have to throw the football to win. And there were only 2 instances last year in which the Cardinals showed an ability to do that. So I don't expect that to be against New Orleans or maybe even Carolina. So we're going to have to wait and see for the end result. But in the meantime, you're right. I think we'll see enough flashes where people will be bought back in with this combination.
I mean, Carolina, you fell short. They forced you when throwing the ball. So hopefully, week 2, they are Trey McBride, who obviously comments after the loss to Carolina, is he comes to play, and I think this team is going to be motivated to really kind of make a statement against the Panthers after last season's just catastrophic loss.
Real bad.
We did get some insight as far as the Vegas Raiders and what they're going to do come tomorrow. Now, we've seen some of their starters in the first 2 games. Is it going to look like that in week 3, the finale of the preseason? Here's what we got from a Raiders reporter. It's not sure how much the Raiders starters will play on Saturday, but there's a strong sense that a bunch of key players will get on the field. So that's from Raiders beat writer. There's nothing like definitively, Johnny, but like it hasn't been ruled out, like Gannon said on yesterday, that the Cardinals are going to look similar to what they did last week. So
yeah, well, I'm happy for the people in attendance to get to see some, notable players, albeit for the Raiders. Like, I don't know if Genty will play or Bowers, but like, I'm sure they'll have a couple line of scrimmage players play. I mean, Pete Carroll's trying to establish culture there, and I don't know. Again, this makes it worse. Feels like a missed opportunity. Go out there and put some guy like if you want to play Kyler Murray, that's one thing. But like Isaiah Adams hasn't played a ton of football in his young career. I mean, like go on these first, second, and third year players that you're really just trying to iron out, and maybe some new additions, like get them out there, see what they can do. I'd be disappointed. Like I would play Will Johnson. I would play Max Melton. I would play Isaiah Adams. I'd play Trey Benson. Like you want to grandfather in K1 and James Conner and even Marv, because I'm not playing Marv with anybody but Kyler. Like that's fine. But there's still the beauty of this rebuild is you've drafted 28 players in 3 years. A lot of them haven't not played yet because of the depth on this team in certain spots, or like Taylor Demerson, I would imagine is going to play a little bit this weekend. But yeah, let Trey Benson should play the entire first half. I think Trey Benson would benefit from rhythm carries, as I've made the argument before. Give him 15 touches before the half. Why the hell not? Cam Scadaboo's playing. He's the RB2 and with the Giants, who's playing yet last night. Got a couple carries, throwaway carries. What do you think about that, Bo?
You got 3 carries. And you're like, play Trey Benson the entire first half. You got Cam Scadaboo, who got drafted in the 4th round this past draft. It's his first action. Got 3 carries, and you're like, but Trey Benson needs to play the entire first half.
Let me ask you this. Who in your mind, not who you think they're going to play, who in your mind you believe could benefit from playing tomorrow? Off the cuff. Start hitting me with some names.
I completely agree with Will Johnson. I think Will Johnson benefits from playing. Gannon saying guys who are vying for roster spots are really going to be the guys that play the most tomorrow. I think Xavier Weaver could stand to see a little extended play just because once the regular season comes around, like that role diminishes. And it's going to be a lot smaller, and his opportunities are going to be like few and far between. Gaines staying back in there. I like what I saw from Gaines, and if he can continue to help you feel more confident about the depth beyond your interior offensive line right now, and Will Hernandez isn't going to be ready to start the season. So there's nothing like. That's why this game doesn't have a whole lot of juice, is because a lot of the guys that they've deemed, already having a role aren't going to go out there and play tomorrow.
Yeah. I'd probably get a smidge more aggressive than you, but I think we'll see most of the guys that you mentioned. I want to get to this story around the corner. It's not Cardinals specific, but it's Cardinal adjacent. And it has to do with Derek Harmon, who was a top draft pick of the Steelers. Somebody linked to the Cardinals, and why the Steelers might be showing the Cardinals' hand. That's coming up. It's PHNX. I'll tell you where I'm going to show my hand or my hat every single day. It's our friends at Branded Bills right now. Branded Bills, the only headwear your boy wears, the official headwear of PHNX and ALLCITY. Looking for some gear to make your brand stand apart? Branded Bills has you covered. The best custom headwear. Start your order. A dedicated team member will help you create the exact custom apparel you need. And again, snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, tees, Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. They have partnerships with 40 partnerships, including UA, ASU, of course, as you can see here, the campus collection. They also have Suns gear. And we've got some sweet PHNX Cardinals gear coming up that you will not want to miss. Branded Bills, head to their website right now, brandedbills.com. Use the bonus code BBPHNX for 50% off your first order. And, of course, keep it locked into the merchandise locker, or PHNX headgear is supremely gifted. I've got a hat right behind me with our guy Nux on it. I only wear Branded Bills. That's not changing.
Yeah, it's been miserably hot outside. Branded Bills sure is going to keep the sun out of your face, but what's going to keep your cooling costs down? It's our friends over at APS, because we know we are running your AC basically round the clock. How they can help you hack that with a smart thermostat for as low as $0 in their Cool Rewards program. That's the way this summer and then going forward here in the Valley of the Sun. Check it out right now. APS customers may be eligible for smart thermostats as low as $0 when you enroll in their APS Cool Rewards program. If you've already got a smart thermostat, it might be eligible to enroll in Cool Rewards, which is great. Plus, you get that free install, and it's available in the link in our description below. Make sure to check in on that. But check them out right now, marketplace.aps.com. That's marketplace.aps.com. Got to be an APS customer and pay shipping and taxes, but that's a small fee for a free smart thermostat that's going to get you saving big on energy costs, running that AC during the heat of the summer. Other restrictions apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for all the information.
This segment brought to you by Pole Position here. Phoenix Raceway, the presenting sponsor of this segment. Join them October 31st through November 2nd. Bo's a big gearhead. NASCAR Championship Weekend. Tickets, hospitality, and upgrades are still available. Get yours now, phoenixraceway.com. Pole Position with your boys. And we're looking at a defensive line group, again, that has been a talking point because of how robust suddenly it has. It's been a nice offseason. I haven't had to complain about the pass rush or the defensive line group one time. First world problems. One problem, though, is what to do with Walter Nolen, who has not practiced all of training camp. He's missed all of training camp with a hamstring injury. We got tipped off early on that the Cardinals were not going to place him on IR or PUP. Now there's some rumblings from other media members here in the Valley that they are going to put him on injured reserve. He is going to go on PUP. Whereas, well, let's see what happens. But I read this to you. This is Derek Harmon, who is going to miss, 4 to 6 weeks, according to Pro Football Talk, with an MCL sprain. So he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks and 2 to 4 games. When the opener kicks off on September 7th, the Steelers are not expected to place Harmon on injured reserve. So Harmon is just beginning his recovery. Now, he's gotten all of training camp, but he's done for 4 to 6 weeks before the Steelers think that he could come back. They're not putting him on IR. So I ask you the question, Bo, during this Pole Position 53-man cut down Friday, why would the Cardinals place Walter Nolen on IR, not only burning 4 games, but more importantly, burning 4 weeks of practice time when it appears that he is poised to return to practice soon?
Yeah, it certainly seems like it's imminent. Like Walter Nolen could get himself back healthy enough to where he could hit the practice field, but obviously like the 5 buckets Jonathan Gannon has, you got the health. Now you got to get, the football part down, and being a 16th overall pick in this previous draft, you got to make up some ground here. You can't do that just, working out with the training staff, because that's what he would be limited to. And I think that's why people are hesitant, or why this show is hesitant to think like, hey, he's been out all the way since, July 23rd, 22nd, whenever the injury actually occurred, all the way to, week 5 of the regular season before he can start to get on the practice field again. That is a long layoff. And I think that's more detrimental than anything, that he's not going to be out there and being able to practice. Like, your options are IR, PUP. Those are equally the same, just different lists. Like guys like Bilal Nichols and BJ Ojulari stay on PUP. You can get, activated and come back in the same timeline, 4 weeks, but you're stuck to that. And then there's the IR with the designation to return, which you have 2 spots. I just don't think that they want to do that. I think they've got some other injuries that they also have to kind of maneuver around, and just more so for the development of their top pick, Walter Nolen. It just would be a long layoff for him to go on IR and miss a minimum of 4 weeks of practice time.
Listen, we'll eat the crow on this show if we end up being incorrect, but feel pretty confident in our source and feel confident that this just doesn't make a lot of sense. The Steelers are like, we'll roll with 52 players and we'll stash our first round pick. And the Cardinals should do the same thing. And I think that's what they will do. Like, it is so detrimental when a guy mentally is like gearing up to come back. And you're like, actually, you know what? You can just do conditioning off to the side. You can't practice. Practice for Walter Nolen is more important than games right now. The Cardinals, say what you want about Carolina and San Francisco. They don't need him to win those games. They shouldn't. Their defensive line is deep enough. But you don't want to cut him off at his knees and say, we're basically going to wash our hands of you the first month to 6 weeks, and then we'll ramp things up, and then maybe around Halloween you'll be ready to go. It's like, if he is ready to practice, he will practice. He's not going to get some designation, because who knows? He could get out there on the practice field and they could be like, hot damn, he looks good. Let's make him active. Let's slowly start to work him back in. Can't do any of that. It just limits you. People are like, it limits you to carry somebody who's not going to participate. Make him inactive on game day. Why not? And you're just going to play with one less guy during the week, but you have your practice squad players. There is zero downside to doing it. There's only downside to putting him on IR and PUP.
Yeah, it would be tough. I mean, they really have to figure out like how they can get going. Do we have the graphic where we've got the injured players when we did our roster?
Hang on real quick before we get to that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can comment on this from G. Willikers. Teo Mackey put this out. I was waiting for you to put out something similar at practice, but I don't know if you can speak to this now. So Walter Nolen was on the practice field working off to the side, doing some resistance work with the training staff. Yeah. First time we've seen him working with the trainer since the injury. Is that something that you can speak on?
No.
Okay.
It was that's not part of the situation kind of described here. Like, I don't feel like I can comment on.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see if we have that graphic, Noah.
No, we don't have that graphic. We don't have that graphic. It's just there's certain areas of the field and there's certain times that are open, and there's just I mean I don't think like Teo is not making that up, and I think there's probably validity to his report.
You don't want to, yeah, we just want to make good choices here. You don't want to make bad choices like certain media members, not Teo from years prior. Let's get to the graphic. Do we have the graphic?
No, we don't. But look, you've got there it is. Will Hernandez, Hayden Connor, Christian Jones, Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols. Like, Will Hernandez on PUP, Bilal Nichols on PUP, and they could stay there. That's fine. And then you get 2 IR spots to start the season with a designation and return. So, like, if they end up IRing the 3 middle guys here, Connor Jones and Justin Jones,
yeah,
or even I also include maybe Nolen if you want to for this exercise, 2 of those guys are lost for the season. So, like, we know Christian Jones and Hayden Connor are dealing with knee injuries. And I wasn't real confident in Connor anyway. I wasn't actually real confident in Christian Jones. Maybe they, like, them staying within the organization, they could do it just as a redshirt injury season, but it just limits what you can do with the player. I think a guy like Justin Jones is either like designation to return or gets an injury settlement and is bought out at this point.
Don't even Bilal Nichols is IR done for the year.
Stay on PUP. He can stay on PUP. He's on PUP. He started training camp on PUP, and he can stay with that
because he's not. Bilal Nichols, friends, has not practiced this entire.
So there's like the reserve PUP. If he's still not ready when the season starts, he can stay there and miss the first 4 games at minimum. So,
well, he'll miss more than that. BJ Ojulari designated to return. Yes. He's not. Doesn't feel like he's.
I mean, there's also some roster maneuvering where it's like they did this with Elijah Jones, where he made the initial 53, and then after a day on the active roster, he was IR'd with a designation to return. It's just you are only allotted 2 when you do the initial roster.
Be smart. Let's keep this conversation going around the corner. Get your super chats in ahead of the final preseason
playing for their job tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that too. It's PHNX Cardinals. Oh yeah. I'll tell you where I'm playing this fall at the Phoenix Raceway Championship, baby. Championship weekend, October 31st through November 2nd. NASCAR returns to the Valley. I've been waiting. You've been waiting. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. Again, to make things even better, it all goes down at the Phoenix Raceway. One of the best tracks in the NASCAR circuit, the state-of-the-art venue against the stunning backdrop. The Phoenix Mountains and the perfect place to host NASCAR Championship weekend after a grueling season that started way back in February. Think about that. It's a long-ass season. It all comes down to this, a weekend of pure adrenaline where legends are made. Don't miss your chance to witness NASCAR Championship weekend in person coming to the Phoenix Raceway October 31st through November 2nd. Tickets for Sunday's Cup Series Championship, they sell out every year. So get them now before they do. Here's the kicker. NASCAR is taking a smidge break on the road in 2026 from Phoenix. So get them while you can. Tickets, hospitality, and upgrades are available. Get your tickets in the link in the show notes. Love me some NASCAR. Cannot wait to check out Championship Weekend.
It's going to be awesome out there at the Raceway. Don't miss out. Get some great tickets. Take the fam. Also, what's going on? All Pro Shade Concepts. We talk about the heat here in the summer months of August. All Pro Shade Concepts is going to help you avoid the heat, get out of it, drop it about 20 degrees with how about a brand new retractable on. And give them a call today, 623-204-1476, or visit them online, allproshadeconcepts.com. These are outdoor space custom fit awning with hundreds of designs and colors to choose from that can match any home. And they're really going to work with those pesky HOAs. They can get that done for an approval. Motorized, retract, remote control, LED lighting. They've got it, everything. Like, they are going to set you up great. They're the most trusted local shade company, voted #1 by Ranking Arizona for patio shades in 2024. BBB A+ rating and over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google. Licensed, bonded, insured. Call them 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadeconcepts.com. That's allproshadeconcepts.com to schedule your free estimate.
Folks in the chat questioning my NASCAR acumen. Can Johnny name one NASCAR driver? How about like 5?
NASCAR?
What about Denny Hamlin, right?
Ooh,
There's
butter.
Kurt Busch.
Earnhardt
Earnhardt
Busch is gone.
Okay. What about Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Gone.
Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch still
Yeah.
still races. Chase Elliott. He's a hot one. Tony Stewart in his heyday. Tony Stewart looked like just peak NASCAR guy. Jimmy Johnson, I feel like too. Like, I'm a gearhead. I could rattle off names.
I think Jimmy Johnson retired like years ago.
No, he's still in it. He's still mixing it up. He might be at Phoenix Raceway. You never know. People in the chat. Butch McFadden. People are upset about this game, and they're taking it out on me and my NASCAR acumen. Here's what I'm going to tell everybody right now. We're done talking.
This game is like you're watching your favorite NASCAR stock car, and they put Johnny behind the wheel to drive it. That's the equivalent of some of the players you're going to see.
Celebrity outing. Woo!
I've never seen a car with its turn signal on the entire way.
Johnny's as much as a wilderness guy as he is a NASCAR guy. Yeah, just call me Grizzly Adams. That's right, baby. I know all the elites. All right. I watched that guy on Instagram. The guy on Instagram Reels that is by himself in the woods. You ever see that guy?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll move on here. Playing for the job on Saturday night. So we'll go around the room here. Who is playing their final game with the Arizona Cardinals preseason or otherwise Saturday night? I will defer to you, and then I will give you my robust list here.
Okay. I'm going to start with one that I just feel horrible for because this is a guy that's done nothing but produce for the Arizona Cardinals. Every time he's on the active roster, every time he's given an opportunity, the guy that plays really well. And he talked to the media yesterday, Michael Carter. It's just the damn numbers crunch. And a guy that, because of how much money he made last year, teams who had poverty running back rooms, for whatever reason, stayed away from poor Michael Carter. He's been a guy that's excelled every opportunity he's received. He's done everything that's been asked of him, and he deserves a spot on an NFL roster. And I just don't think with the 4 running backs that the Cardinals are, poised to carry, he's not one of them, and deserves a chance elsewhere. I think he's for sure a cut.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You and I were kind of talking off air yesterday. It's like the 2 guys that they opted to bring to the podium. It felt like yesterday is like maybe some guys who are not going to be around, right?
I think Keaton Crawford has a chance. It just depends on like what happens with those injured players and how they maneuver that.
Well, he was going to be my name because in what world are the Arizona Cardinals keeping 5 safeties? That's just not a reality. Like, I think Keaton Crawford will be a first pick of the practice squad draft for the Cardinals. But Joey Blount, how well respected is Joey Blount on this team?
Very well respected.
and you just turned over your entire special team unit when you got rid of all those off-ball linebackers and pass rushers last year. Lucetta, I've gone through it ad nauseum. Dumakaji, all those guys, they're gone now. And now you're asking, Max Melton, who played some special teams last year, some certain guys are more established in their role. I think they feel like they probably need Joey Blount. Now, is Keaton Crawford a better safety than Joey Blount? Unequivocally. He's got better ball skills. He's a better athlete. And coincidentally, Keaton Crawford was drafted to be a special teams savant. But you talk about a numbers game. We are not in the business of keeping a robust amount, as you just pointed out, of running backs and off-ball linebackers and safeties. This is not the time era. Premium positions, line of scrimmage, D-line, O-line. If you're going to go heavy, you go heavy with the big heavies. So I think Keaton Crawford, there's no way they keep 5 safeties. Last year, did they what? They kept only 4. They kept the 4 I think they're going to keep this year. I like Crawford too, James. I would keep him.
No doubt about it. And if it's just strictly based on special teams, it isn't like, hey, we're going to keep Keaton Crawford because we think he can play a role in our safety room. It would be strictly based on playing fourth down and playing on special teams.
Right.
So that's why they drafted him. I mean, they had 4 safeties on the roster and they wanted to give him a shot. And I think he's even exceeded their expectations about what type of player he is. And then it still comes down to it. That's just the reality of the game. You're a 7th round pick and you're a special teamer, but you got a guy right in front of you that's also his skill set that they signed to an extension in Blount last year. So I agree with that. I think we're watching probably, when we talk about the 28 draft picks that have remained within the organization, and there's been cuts on these upcoming days.
Right.
It's been brought back in the form of practice squad. We'll see what's in the future for Owen Pappo, but I think Owen Pappo is going to be playing a lot tomorrow. And I think that he's probably, as far as this off-ball linebacker position battle goes, it goes Akeem Davis-Gaither. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of Cody Simon tomorrow. And then Owen Pappo, who's going to be playing, as I said, significant snaps and going to have to ball out.
I think you could get him back on the practice squad. I don't think he's going to be a commodity where maybe I'm wrong that he's claimed. I don't think he just has enough game tape. So for the Cardinals, Cody Simon, we were bullish on him all summer, and I'm still high on him. You would have liked to see a little bit more. You would have liked to see a little bit more refinement as a tackler, but in no world are they cutting a 4th rounder. Akeem Davis-Gaither came over. There's a special teamer.
Yeah.
It's Mac Wilson's senior's job, and they run so much single off-ball linebacker. It just doesn't make sense. Again, the numbers game, I'm with you 100%. It's really unfortunate. Let's turn our attention back to, if we could, the robust defensive line group. Walk me through your prediction. Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols, it's this time next week. Where are they on the Cardinals roster?
I think some sort of injury list.
But are either designated to return, or do either have an outlook in which they could return, in your opinion, for the Cardinals this year? Because I think I'm going Justin Jones is just IR'd and is out of here.
Probably IR, and then maybe a settlement to follow. And then Nichols, they have, because he started on PUP, can end on PUP.
Right.
You see him. I mean, this has been a stinger issue that he's been dealing with all the way back last season against the Packers. And that was in the first, quarter of the season. It's been a long time, October. It's just, I think if they get an extended stay here, it's via an injured list. But outside of that, nobody had neither one of them is sniffing the 53.
No, they haven't earned it. I think you just wash your hands of last year's free agency class. This year's, I know they haven't played a game yet. This year could not be more night and day different than last year. So what about our boy Keitrell Clark? Because I was surprised.
The D-line, I think there's 2 young players that are vying for a spot. I think that because of where it is on the depth chart, that the organization would probably lean towards the younger player.
Okay.
Elijah Simmons. But I think a guy like PJ Mustipher has surprised them with how hard he's worked being a part of this organization. He dropped 40 pounds, and then you see that it's benefited him. He's played very well in practice and in preseason games. I still think that, Mustafa is a guy that they probably view like they could either practice squad or isn't going to be like a big commodity in the sense of, players who are cut at this stage of the season. I think Simmons is somebody that if it's either or, they're going to keep Simmons.
We're going to keep the conversation going as we go into overtime. Darren Urban, I think, mentioned on his article today, I checked out at azcardinals.com, that he thinks Mustafar has the edge over Elijah Simmons. I think you and I probably disagree, but we'll see. Who knows? Maybe if they're going to keep Walter Nolen, though, on the active roster, then you need to be able to carry another defensive tackle.
But like Mustafa is somebody that once this, like Gannon always talks about a role on game day. And I think also Monty would look at from the standpoint of projectability. Like Mustafa's been in the league. He's on the practice squad basically the whole time last year. I think you kind of know, even with the, good play against second, third, fourth stringers, I think I would probably go with more of the projectable player in Elijah Simmons.
The shiny new toy, if you will.
Yeah. Because you got five guys in front of him.
Yeah. And Simmons is more, correct me if I'm wrong, a traditional nose tackle. Whereas Mustafa.
No, they're both. I think that you got like Dalvin, Mustafa, and Simmons.
I'm thinking of like a body type more of LJ Collier, but yeah, he is like 6'4", 310, 315. So whatever. He played at Penn State. I think he came into the league with the Broncos or the Saints. He's been around for like a minute.
Yeah.
You need an extra D tackle while Walter Nolen if he's going to be on the active roster. Like if Walter Nolen is carried, and they're going to carry 7, right? But if he's IR'd or pupped, they're going to carry 6. So we'll see, but we don't expect Jones or Nichols to be amongst that group. All right, now let's go to the secondary. Now let's talk about the battle for the 6th cornerback spot. Darren Hall has been better this preseason. He's been better this training camp. Keitrell Clark is a favorite of Jonathan Gannon, and he gave him all his flowers yesterday at the press conference. But I'm putting my cynical hat on. I look at that as maybe say, like, let's just get people excited about Keitrell Clark around the NFL, or maybe sneak him back on the practice squad. Darren Hall is a better outside corner, in my opinion. And you're not cutting Elijah Jones. I've seen people float that. They're not cutting a 3rd rounder.
I don't think it would be a big surprise if they did. I think he's somebody that could be a trade candidate potentially.
Who's that, Elijah Jones?
Yeah, Elijah Jones. Like, could you get anything of value in return? Could you
think they're ready to sell that low on a top 100 pick last year? That'd be pretty shocking.
It would be. I think, but I do agree. I think the battle is between, kind of the vet journeyman guy in Hall and Keitrell Clark. Because I think now you're more realistically closer to that guy playing potentially if you suffer an injury. So I think Darren Hall probably is your better bet.
Yeah. He's been in the league longer. I think he's a better athlete. I just haven't seen enough good things out of Keitrell Clark, the cover man, this preseason. And I even think like Darren Hall, like if Denzel Burke's having an off day, you can put him in there. I just feel much more comfortable with it. It's not, listen, this is a defensive back corner group that's going to be driven by the top 3 guys unequivocally. But I don't know, Elijah Jones kind of being like, almost like grandfathered into this roster. It does feel gross. It feels against like what Gannon has been about, where it's like best players are going to make this team. But do you want to admit fault that early on a 3rd? And for everybody that says we glaze over draft picks on this show, like we've been consistent. Like he has not looked good in 2 years. Right. He got injured last year, and he has not had a good training camp. He's a kid. He missed all last year. I think that they'll still go with the mindset of like, let him be healthy for the entirety of the year and let us work with him. And then next year, after he's been healthy, we'll make a decision. I still think that's the way they go.
Yeah. You don't have to cut the cord right now, because you could stash him and he could play strictly teams as you look to develop them. You have success, and it's like instead of Keitrell Clark, who's 5'9", you got a guy who's 6'2". He's long, and he's in college he was a guy that took the ball away. That's what they want.
All right, so we've gone through, I think, most notable battles. So let's get to a question I'm going to pose to you. We fast forwarded this time next week. Cardinals are keeping 2 quarterbacks. My question for you is, do they have a new practice squad quarterback? Is Clayton Tune gone for good after preseason finale on Saturday?
I'd say it's probably just a little greater than 50% that they go in a different direction.
Wow.
But I don't think the door is completely shut for him to come back as a practice squad quarterback. I think there's the right guy that they could get in, that they could feel comfortable with the system, like right away. That's such an important part of this. I think there's some criteria there that they have to meet before they just say goodbye to Tune.
It would be an interesting dynamic to see who they would bring in. I hearken back to September 4th, 2015. Does anybody remember that? What happened that day? We had a feverish training camp battle that included, I think, Logan Thomas and rookie quarterback Phillip Sims. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's going to be the third quarterback? Because that's when we all were like, third quarterback's on the roster. Logan Thomas, was a draft pick. And then what did Bruce Arians do? He's like, they both stink. Get them out of here. And he traded for Matt Barkley on September 4th. And Matt Barkley and Drew Stanton and Carson Palmer were the battery at quarterback for that fateful 2015 season. Barkley was a nice preseason quarterback. Does this regime have the gusto, the fortitude to go out and do that? I don't know. But we can all unequivocally say that in no world can you go into a game with Clayton Tune this year as a backup to Jacoby Brissett or Kyler Murray. If one of those two goes down, and it's unfortunate, he has regressed. We wish him well. This season is not about finding out who can play, who can't, getting through 2023, and even last year. The expectations are off the charts. You can't take any chances.
I mean, he's gonna have to go out there and rip it tomorrow. Like, I think he could do himself a favor as far as within the context of being a practice squad quarterback, going out there and not throwing the ball to and behind the line of scrimmage, taking some shots and hitting on them, taking care of the football, and being the guy that they thought they could develop. Because you're right, there has been a regression. He's got to prove that he broke through that, and he can be a guy that can go on scout team, be their practice squad guy.
With Ozzie, go get a Snoop Huntley, go get a Tommy DeVito, go get somebody who can like help you throughout the week. And this sounds like so critical. And I'm not there at practice, and I don't know what he brings in the film room. And his teammates like him, and that's part of it. As you have to be a popular guy to be a backup quarterback or a backup to a backup.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen enough. I've seen not only in games, and you can attest to this. He has been bad at training camp.
Yeah.
It's not just last Saturday. This is not a reactionary thing. This has been building for about a month. It's 4 to 6 weeks. He just hasn't gotten better.
Has not. You haven't seen any play where you're like, man, like there it was. There's what they see. Just hasn't happened. It's in Andrew saying, making Pickett, and we've seen DeVito in the chat, Snoop Huntley and stuff like that. I think that if one of those opportunities presented themselves, I think it becomes an easy answer for Monty Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon.
And like they had him as their backup last year. He won the job. This sounds harsh too. By default, Desmond Ridder was so bad last year. He was so unwatchable.
Yeah.
And it glossed over Clayton Tune's inefficiency.
Yeah.
And then by comparison, Colt McCoy couldn't throw a football two years ago. And now it's like you got Clayton.
They brought in Josh Dobbs. Where's Josh Dobbs now? Is he in the league still?
Oh, I'm sure he's had a job.
They brought in Josh Dobbs off the street basically, and he started.
He's with the Patriots. He's Drake May's backup. The Patriots. I love.
Go get him, Josh.
I'm a big Dobbs guy. So yeah, did we miss any? Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments down below. We got some robust super chats here before we bid farewell ahead of our feverish Saturday night coverage of this preseason game. Ghost of Pat Tilley, back-to-back $20 super chats. Kyler gets all season to prove 2026. Petzing gets until Packers game week 7. How about it, Bo? There were people after this announcement was made, and I agree with you. Kyler gets all season unequivocally, that are already on like the fire Petzing train. Like, are the tweets going to be out week 1? I think they've already been out. The people are very skeptical of this offense.
Yeah.
Best way to shut people up is go and produce. That's the beauty of the NFL. Just go do it.
No, I mean, it's accurate. If the offense struggles, there's going to be heat on Petzing. There's always heat on Kyler Murray. But yeah, as far as your coaches, it's easier to make changes on the coaching staff than it is on the roster, and especially at this position. And we went through it. Like, even finding suitable backups is sometimes tough in this league. So great point. Ghost of Pat, that was, chiming in with another $20, $40 altogether. Unbelievable. Love the AT-AT.
Nope.
Had Otis Anderson pics taped over my Star Wars wallpaper.
That hits me right in the feels, Ghost of Pat Tilley. I love that so much. You can call it an AT-AT. You can call it an AT-AT. Bo made a snide comment in our beat meeting earlier today about how much he did not like it. We've got a very big announcement coming up in the coming weeks. Somebody that's going to be joining us throughout the regular season, and Bo is fearful of this person seeing my collectibles on camera. So Ghost of Pat Tilley, I appreciate this super chat more than you know. It's very well timed.
Yeah. I'm glad you like his AT&T. It's fantastic. You guys share common hobbies.
That is a piece of cinema history, my friend. Andrew, $5. Bo, the offense had better come out sizzling, fajitas hot, or Petzing has to be fired, demoted by midseason. What do you think about that, Bo?
It has to come out sizzling hot. I mean, if it's just an offense that is winning them football games, like,
not good enough.
It's not gonna. I mean, if they're winning football games, I think Gannon is going to accept it and try to keep it as a work in progress.
I'll push back on that. How many, like the Steelers, I think are a byproduct of this, where they like every year they fraud it up and they get to the playoffs, and the Cardinals need to make the playoffs. But they're like, they do enough to win games offensively and the defense carries them, but everybody knows like this is not sustainable. Like last year with Justin Fields, right? Now I think the Cardinals are much better than that, but I also think like you can watch a game, be happy that they won, and understand like, oh, this isn't going to work when you play the meat of your schedule. And I think that's what Andrew and a lot of people are preaching toward, are attesting to. Like, don't you feel like you need to see a couple robust passing games early in the season to be able to say like, oh yeah, this team can do it against Seattle, LA, Cincinnati, like late in the year? I do. I need to see it.
Yeah. That would all make us feel a lot better. Is Petzing, if the team during that 6-week stretch where they face non-football teams or non-playoff teams and they go 5-1, 4-2, and I mean, if the record reflects success, but you see maybe not that big robust passing attack, like, is the heat truly going to be on Petzing from actually people who make decisions?
Probably not, but I think we can all understand, like, they ran the ball great last year until they faced playoff teams, and the playoff teams said, nope, got to be us another way. And the Cardinals like, we literally can't do it. We can't do it. Greg, $2. Sycamore, our guy, PFF, really predicting Cards 8 and 9 this year, Bo. I think that's more a byproduct. People just don't know what to do with the Cardinals this year.
Yeah. I have to check that out. I did see Sycamore had his Cardinals preview up on YouTube. Got to check it out and see why he has him going as a copy from last year at 8 and 9.
Sweet baby Trev. Tony B, $4.99. Great show again. Thank you, Tony. Next Thursday is going to be great. Jersey reveal. fantasy draft and hanging with y'all. Can't wait. Have a great weekend, everyone. That's right. And what a perfect plug, Bo, to our Robust Night at Gila a week from yesterday on Thursday, the 28th.
That's right. I'm going to be going to practice on Thursday. There's going to be the rivalry uniforms revealed. And then we take residency at Wild Horse Pass, Gila River Resorts and Casinos, starting with the live show at 4:30, continuing it with a 6 o'clock PHNX live season preview. Now, it's live for those in attendance. You want to be a part of this? You want to ask questions? You want to give your thoughts? Well, the floor is yours along with us. Don't miss out on that. But you're not going to see this like resurfaces like a video on PHNX Sports on YouTube. This is just a live event. And then we turn the cameras back on. It's our fantasy football draft at 7. We're going to be there until the wee hours of the morning. Come join us for all of this, or a few of them if you want, at the Upper Deck Kitchen and Bar at Gila River Resorts and Casinos at Wild Horse Pass.
That is going to be a night to remember. Again, let us know. RSVP. We want a robust group. We're gonna get nuts. We're gonna get wild. Put Bo and I on the spot. We're answering any and all questions, football or otherwise. I have a question for you. It's Friday, October 22nd. Why is Patrick Mahomes playing in a preseason game? Because sometimes the Chiefs, they just get it. They just, as you could say, want it more. Wow. I'm dumbfounded. Patrick Mahomes is playing in the third preseason game on a random Friday night. Whatever. Some teams value it. Some teams don't. Interesting choice.
I'm sorry, man. And I know it cuts to your core that you just want to see your starters in these exhibition games that don't matter. We are approaching 100 likes. We want to get to 350 likes today. Like this show, of course, subscribe to PHNX Sports on YouTube. Helps us grow, helps us do more here. Helps Johnny go buy more AT-ATs for his studio.
That's not where the money goes.
What else do you have? You got your Phoenix hat there. Is that on top of a couple VHS tapes?
Yeah, if you're scoring at home, that's a vintage copy of one Roadhouse, and then the original Ninja Turtles movie, the best one from 1990. Yeah, we all have our vices. We all have our treasures. Speaking of treasures, speaking of collectibles, this was brought to our attention on the Twitter streets yesterday, maybe the tweet of the year. No, man, let's see it. Robo Frank, diehard and fan of the show, has a custom Maserati Marv PHNX prosthetic leg. Unbelievable. This is what you would like to call the ultimate diehard. We appreciate you, Robo Frank. Unbelievable. Bo, I saw this yesterday. I was just at a loss for words.
Yeah, I was blown away as well. And we got to get this immediately on sale in the PHNX merchandise locker. It's the Maserati Marv T, but it's on Robo Frank's new socket, as he calls it. And he's got the hashtag PHNX, hashtag Maserati Marv, and then added Yumi in the show. And now he just wants Marv to put that autograph on there from our diehard at Jesus_heels from our guy, Robo Frank. This is fantastic. Thank you for sharing. I don't know if anybody can top this. Can anybody top this with their passion for this, for Cardinals football and this show?
If that doesn't get Drew Petzing to throw the ball tomorrow, nothing will. Robo Frank, you're the man. It is awesome. Show Robo Frank some love. We appreciate him and all of our diehards. Milwaukee Braves, $4.99 with a late super chat. Did they announce if the starters will play tomorrow? Just joining and hope everyone is well. We hope you are well, Milwaukee Braves. Thank you. They announced that the starters will likely not play. Yep. If I had to guess, I would say it will be more watered down than last week.
Yeah.
Do you think Jacoby Brissett plays?
I think there's only a chance he plays if Gannon's like, well, if everything goes to plan, we're not going to see Jacoby in live action for a long time. Maybe we just get him a couple series before he heads to the sideline as Kyler Murray's backup.
Well, he's going to be doing the tush push this year, though. So get him some juice. But Milwaukee Braves, we were unfortunately disappointed with the announcement that the Cardinals are going no starters. But that doesn't mean, Bo, that our coverage takes a hit, because God help us, pre and post game show tomorrow for game number 3 of the preseason.
We will be live a half hour before kickoff. That means 6:30 tomorrow. Join us, won't you? As we preview this 30 minutes up to kick at 7 with the Vegas Raiders. And then once halftime hits, we are hoping to be live shortly after halftime with our kind of halfy post-game show.
A little bit of a watch along,
yeah,
gross fest like we did last week, where we simultaneously have the game on. We break down our takeaways thus far, and we have a conversation with everybody here. And maybe we'll have some juice as it relates to some trades, which we didn't have a chance to talk about today. Any last minute roster decisions, injuries, maybe some outstanding, maybe Tune will surprise us in the first half.
Yeah, maybe that happens. Maybe we get some Brissett. Maybe we got some guys emerging on the defensive side that are going to have a role.
Yep.
I don't know. We only saw 11 snaps of Jordan Birch. You think Jordan Birch even plays tomorrow?
I'd play him.
Okay. Love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Should play tomorrow. Everyone. Let's get some guys some PT. They got 2 weeks off.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be I get it. They're going to be practicing, but.
Right. Well, it's been a banner show. It's been a banner week here at PHNX Sports. New office. We broke it in. It's fantastic. Also, everybody, applaud Johnny. Look at that thing. Looks great. His office looks great, even though his bird tried to jump off the wall there. Hang on for dear life, and enjoy the rest of your Friday. We're back tomorrow with the pregame starting at 6:30 right here on PHNX Cardinals. Talk to you soon.
We all silly like the mayor.